If you follow organized crime in Chicago, then you've probably heard of the Saint Valentine's Day Massacre. But what if I told you of another massacre, almost as bad, that has been completely forgotten? Please join us as we explore the seldom heard of and completely forgotten Chicago Outfit Massacre. On Friday morning, July 22nd, 1977, a Secretary Jenny Lessick, an employee of the U.S. Universal Alarm Company, arrived at work at about 7:30 a.m. at 216 Higgins Road in Park Ridge, Illinois. In the lobby, she found the elevator door propped open by a man's legs. As she took a sneak peek inside, she saw a mound of lifeless bodies piled up on the elevator floor. She ran outside, screaming hysterically across the street to a gas station for help. At about this time, Bruce Shearson, an employee of the Miro Aluminum Company, arrived at the building for work. He forced open the elevator door and found 4 dead bodies. Police arrived shortly thereafter and found the bodies of Joseph LaRose, age 35, and his brother-in-law, John Vichy, age 32, dead. Mr. LaRose owned U.S. Universal, which was a burglar and fire alarm company. Alongside the bodies of LaRose and Vichy were 2 other Universal employees, Donald Marchbanks, age 56, and Malcolm Russell, age 37. Chicago Police Detective Rocco Rinaldi examined the scene and noted that all the victims still had their wallets and jewelry. Other occupants of the building described the alarm company as a boiler room operation, with lots of telephones. The owners and their visitors all seemed to drive expensive cars and wear flashy clothes and jewelry. Detective Rinaldi eventually discovered that one of the victims, Malcolm Russell, was under investigation for telephone fraud and his involvement with a company called Steel Liquidation Services. He further learned that Universal wasn't a typical alarm company that provided services, but rather it was more like a pyramid scheme where investors could actually buy their own alarm business. Those investors would then in turn sell similar packages to others wishing to get into the alarm business. On the last night of their lives, LaRosa, Marchbanks, and Russell held a sales seminar, which was often held in the evening, as most of their marks were working people who were trying to become business owners. LaRosa's brother-in-law, John Vichy, had just stopped by and was leaving with the victims. What they were unaware of was that out in Las Vegas, Tony Spilotro had been given the job to eliminate these guys for not kicking up to the outfit. As one of the first major outfit figures to be turned by authorities, Frank Collada was able to provide some inside details of the event. In his testimony, Mr. Collada said that afterwards, the mob bosses laughed about the way the hitman had trapped the 4 victims in the elevator in order to gun them down all at one time.
He really does things in bunches. And one of the bosses said, "Yo, when he goes, he goes." The bosses also knew and weren't too happy that these guys were being watched by the Cook County Sheriff's Department because known burglars had been seen coming in and out of the office.
After killing them, the hitman tore open the right front pants pockets of LaRosa, Marchbanks, and Russell as an underworld sign of a financial double-cross. According to Collada's testimony, the men were killed not only because they wouldn't kick up, but also because they had used outfit money to start up this venture and had been dipping into that money for their personal use. Later released testimonies revealed that the only named suspect in this case was a gentleman named Paul the Indian Shiro. Ironically enough, Mr. Shiro was released into a halfway house just a couple of years ago, having served several decades in prison for a previous murder. So, now you know the story of the almost unknown Chicago mob massacre. Thank you for joining us, and please consider leaving a like and hitting that subscribe button for future episodes. Until next time, we'll see you again on the Chicago Outfit Files. Good night.